Hello everybody, welcome back to Monster Hunter World. Today we're going to be going, well, further, but first we have to go and find the first Wyverian in the ancient forest for, well, progression purposes. Now it took me a long time to find him because they don't exactly, I think they might give you a location on the map, but I mainly just use it as a supply run, so I skipped the majority of it, my bad. Some good story coming up though, but like most games, they don't give you what you want when you want it. You gotta work for it. And this is no different here. Because if you think that, oh, we're just gonna go see the first Wyverian, he's gonna just, you know, let us hunt whatever we want. No. You're new to video games if that's what you're thinking. So, without spoiling any more, because it's fairly obvious what's going to happen here, we're saying where we're going, I guess I'll, be quiet here, considering this is, yeah. So, yep, that's it. That's all you gotta do. You gotta go to the top of the tree, and that's basically it. And then they say, you're not good enough, you gotta kill the apexes. Like I said, it's never that easy. So we're gonna be returning from the expedition. You might think, oh, you'll be hunting Rathalos. No, at first I believe I hunt Diablos, because he is much easier with the greatsword. That being said, he is much more punishing as with the greatsword. But if you don't get greedy, he is so much easier than Rathalos if you don't use flashbangs or flash pods, whatever. I tend to call them flashbangs, but you know what hopefully I'm talking about there. Now, if you played the beta, you have a leg up. Obviously, at this point in the game, I fought Diablos before, otherwise I wouldn't have the freaking belt. Or was that a leg piece? I don't remember. I think that's a belt piece, or a waist. Anyway, I wouldn't have that if I hadn't fought him yet, so I have killed him before in this file. I don't remember when. That was months ago. That's like a month ago. But yeah, I'm going to show you exactly how it's so easy with the Diablos. Now keep in mind this is going to have some screw-ups because now if you want a perfect Diablos run, that wait till high rank. I think I actually do perfect the Diablos in high rank. Or if I don't, it's like a one-hit win. Either way, it's rather decent. But I was still learning because Diablos, he hits like a truck. But the thing about him is he doesn't have a hell of a lot of moves. He's kind of like a four-trick pony. Actually, does he have more than 4 moves? He has the charge, he has the I'm gonna try and gore you twice thing. He has the dig, emerge, and then he has the Does he have anything? He has the tail swipe then. So does he have any more? I don't think he does. He might only have 4 moves. But finding him is half the battle here, because if you fought him before, you go, oh, he's down below. I know he's down below. Yeah, I thought I was going to be a wise ass too. Unfortunately, being a wise ass, ironically enough, is not always wise. I thought, oh, he's not down here. I'll go into his lair where he sleeps, right? He'll definitely be over there. Until I remembered, oh, wait a minute now. This is a story mission. I'm probably supposed to go up here. Whoops. Technically, there's no voice acting here, so I'm going to go ahead and say exactly what's happening for people that go, why'd that happen? Well, if you never went to the Wildspire Wastes, if you ever had those things cry out before, Sonic, I don't know if they have the Sonic thing that they gave us in the box or not, but yeah. Diablos are attracted to loud noises, yo. Let's watch. You can actually use that to your advantage if you plan it well enough, by the record, because they'll fall, whatever you're hunting is going to fall down and probably be stunned for a good 5 to 10 seconds. Just FYI, you can use that. Of course, then you have a pissed off Diablos to deal with, but hey, you know what? Stun locks come with prices. There he is. I don't know if that's a he or a she. I know the Black Diablos is a female, but I don't know if they ever said the regular Diablos was a female or male. I'm going to go with male, though. There he is. Isn't that a face you love? Okay, so charge. Now the temptation is to immediately try and get the tail hit. Here it would have been actually advantageous, but I didn't notice his head was stuck in the rock. That is a strategy you want to employ. And now I should have just did the true charge there. Would have had the level 3 right on his horns. Possibly would have broke the horns, because they break very easy in single player. But I wasn't sure what he was doing, so I decided to try and play it a little safe. Now, that tail swipe is a good thing. You want to try and force him to do that. Because when he does that, he's locked in a thing where you can get at least a level 2 charge off. Now, the big thing here is don't get greedy, of course. When you get greedy with a greatsword, bad shit happens. Like I've always said, you don't have to be 100% DPS mode all day, every day. Because it'll get you killed. Especially against this guy. He's very punishing, but not very difficult, funny enough. There's his Amagoryu attack. Just kind of run away. It doesn't really matter. You can try and get behind him, but I would be wary of that. That was a mistake, but at least I had the wherewithal to try and block it. Not a very intelligent thing, granted, considering it just dropped my sharpness, but it's a last-ditch effort kind of thing. You know how it goes. But yeah, while he's doing that, you can just take the opportunity to go, oh, well, while you're waving your butt around, I'm just going to, you know, sharpen or drink or really do much of anything. And that tail swipe is very easy to dodge because sometimes he'll do it if you're just like anywhere near behind him. You don't even have to be in range and he'll try and do it. One good thing to do is when he charges, try and follow him and stay behind him until you see he's locked into the tail swipe and then get underneath of him. That might sound asinine. Why would I do that? Well, because then you get a good opportunity for a nice, even a strong charge. It's worth it. A regular swing and then a strong charge. You probably won't get the true charge, but you take what you can get. As far as that thing, that's what kills a lot of players I've noticed online. That emerging attack, because it does loads of damage. What you want to do as soon as... Now, if you have a greatsword, I'm going to assume you're using a greatsword here. When you see him digging into the ground like that, if you have quick sheath, even level 2, you can take one quick hit. Don't charge it at all. And then roll out of it, and then get ready to panic dive. that will save you a lot of time and a lot of health. And it'll make the fight go a hell of a lot faster than just going, yeah, and just running around while he's digging. Okay, so just saying, that's something you want to do. Honestly, opportunities for true charges in this are very, very rare. But, as I've said before, you don't always need them, but you can take the opportunity if they present themselves. Unfortunately, that wasn't really a good opportunity. Like I said, you want to chase him, force him into that tail swipe, and then, honestly, I was a little afraid of being too close to the other side, but you can still get a hit in. It's just get hits where you can, and, yeah, just get hits where you can. Now, arguably, I do panic dive a little too much in Diablos, but I learned that from the beta, because when I didn't do that very often in the beta, as people that play with me can tell you, I died a lot. So eventually, I died a lot, and I was like, I don't want to die anymore. I'm going to stop doing these things to get me killed. Yeah, that'll do it. So immediately, I always just start panic diving. If you time it really well, you can get up from your panic dive while he's getting up and get a free hit or two, like this. He's tired, so yeah, go to town. Oh my god, I missed. That is heartbreaking. I thought I had that in the bag, but he stepped away like a dick. But yeah, you can see he doesn't have a whole hell of a lot of moves. He just kind of does the same things over and over. And once those moves are learned, he's very, very easy to kill. Now, Black Diablos is even more punishing. And by the way, that's the actual name before someone says something. That is quite literally the name. It's Black Diablos, I believe. Well, not technically, I believe in Japanese, but in the game, the title quite literally is Black Diablos, because you know how some animals in nature, when they go into, shall we say, heat, they get really aggressive? Well, that's basically what a Black Diablos is. It's a, yeah, let's not go any further into that. I appreciate the nod to realism, you know, and it's kind of like it does kind of feel like an ecosystem to a degree. I don't like the way they did some things in this, but as far as Diablos goes, I love Diablos. It's a great fight for a Lance user. It's like the best fight ever for a Lance user. That was a mistake. I should have dodged the other way, I think. I dodged, like, the worst possible way, but let me just tell you, this is not a place where you really want to fight Diablos too awful much, because it's kind of small, and that's why you panic dive. If I hadn't panic dived there, I would probably be near dead. But yeah, this is not exactly a best ever Diablo kill, but this is kind of like if you want to push it, now here's how you do it. You have to have at least quick draw level, or quick sheath level 2. Obviously you don't want to stand in front of the feet, otherwise that happens right there. That's my #1 offender in this fight. I always stand in front of him. You don't want to stand in front of his feet. That was just pretty much in all senses of the word, of the term, a panic dive. There's no reason for me to have done that. But you can see this is a terrible place to fight him. It's so narrow, it's hard to not get hit by his charges, or what have you. Again, terrible placement. You don't really want to do this right here because of that. As a greatsword user, the only time you want to try and hit his horns is either if you really need horns, and you only want to do that with like true charges, or if it's sleeping, or if it's trapped, or anything like that. But even if it's trapped, you really don't want to just do the strong charge. You want to true charge that thing, because that cannot bounce. I have never had a true charge bounce. Not the second hit. The first, actually, no, I've never had even the first hit bounce. I've never had any true charge bounce ever. So that is something to keep in mind as a greatsword user. You basically have, is it Mind's Eye on that one move? Or is it, I don't remember what the set name is. Anyway, it's really nice. Also, of course, learning roar timings. Kind of cool until you have earplugs. To be honest, I probably let my skills peter out a bit because I use earplugs now, because I believe it's damn near mandatory. Some people argue it's not mandatory. I've never understood that argument whatsoever. It's not like a Great Lance or a Gun Lance or a Charge Blade. I don't know about Charge Blade. But it's not like a Lance or a Gun Lance where it's really easy to take advantage of. Like, I've had discussions with people, and I understand what they're saying. You don't need the earplugs. You can just tackle through it. It's a waste of 5 skill points, brah. I'm like, well, you've never played Greatsword, obviously, because if you had, you would have known that if you try and, like, tackle through a roar, more than likely you're just going to whiff on the true charge. as opposed to if you just kept charging through the roar and then busted it in the side of the tail, and then you would have cut it off more than likely. It's a big difference with earplugs. I do believe it's damn near mandatory. It's not, but it's dang near. If you want to do maximum DPS and have a lot more opportunities, you want earplugs and you want quick sheath. I like how I'm saying this is like it's all fact. It's not all fact. But yeah, you might have noticed I didn't have to panic dive there. If you have a good enough lead, you don't have to, that was bad. You don't have to dive. You can just outrange it. Now, you have to be a decent enough distance away. If you try and do that, you're like 2 feet away when he goes underground, you're going to get hit. You got to dive then. So it comes down to a matter of spacing, really. That was greedy, and I'm probably going to get punished for this. Yep. You see how fine the line is between greed and speeding up the fight? Oh, that was lucky. Oh, I thought I was just going to die there. Because I thought, oh, I'll just dive. Nope. I must have just thought I was clear, and I was. There he goes. See? Lock him into that, and then just get a good hit in. Ideally, you don't want to try and go for a second hit, because that's when you kind of you can get screwed a little bit, like I nearly did there. But you can see how you can kind of just cheese this boss. This was a tackle territory right there. I would have died either way. I would have gotten hit either way, excuse me. But I should have waited and tackled a little bit there. I'm so lucky that didn't hit me. I should be dead. I'm not going to deny that, but yay, I didn't die. But yeah, there's not much more else to say as far as Diablos. Even with this simplistic moveset, though, he can be very deadly. Remember, one of the biggest things about Diablos is not always about how you fight him, it's more about where you fight him. Fighting in a big open area like this is much preferable to fighting in a little tiny hallway of sorts above ground most oftentimes here. And depending on your weapon, like if you're using a hammer, obviously you want to go someplace with a lot of, this is tackle territory, I did it a little late there. Obviously if you're using something like a hammer, you probably want to use like a, oh, that was just shit. If you're using like a hammer, you probably want to be someplace with a lot of slopes. At least that's what I've noticed. Like every hammer user I ever go after, I ever hunt with, they always just go, there's a slope! And they do that little cyclone crescent moon attack and just like go across the entirety of the thing's body. Oh, that was risky. I thought, well, it's hit and miss. You can dodge beneath its legs like a cartoon character, but I would say 7 out of 10 times you're probably gonna get pushed out of the way by his gigantic feet. But it can work. It's just, you gotta know it'll work. Oh, I forgot about that move. That's because it's just such a telegraph move, and I still got hit by it. That must say something. So I guess he has 5 moves. I'm sorry. He has 5. That's a lot better, yeah. Now this is where you want to unload with the true charge. Don't even bother with the strong charge. And you can go for the horns here if you want to break them like I did. I think I hit the table there, sorry. But also if you want, I think it's twisted horns, then this is a good opportunity to get them. Especially considering once you get in a groove in single player with the greatsword, shit just kind of keeps falling down repeatedly. It feels good. I can't believe I missed that. That was really bad. Oh, I love making myself look foolish with my ill-timed commentary. It amuses me greatly. So yeah, now that I've gotten through the stagger, which that's one of the reasons I run footing 3 against anything that does earthquake damage. I can't stand looking like it's day after leg day. It's horrible. You know, when you're just kind of staggering around like a drunkard? Yeah, I don't like that. So I try and tend to get rid of stuff that annoys me like that, generally. That's why a lot of my sets have earplugs or tremor resistance or... what's the other one? No, that's basically it. Yeah. Some of them even have both. Of course, I'm losing out a lot of attack on doing that, but it's always been my opinion, if you can't actually swing at anything in the first place, the attack ain't doing jack all anyway. But what do I know? I'm not a master of this game. I guess I just don't like having control taken away from my character, so I try and make builds that negate that crap, because it always feels really, really annoying whenever I get stunned or I get, you know, tremored or what have you. It's all preference anyway. There's so many builds in this game that you can't... It's hard to go wrong with any given build, because a lot of them are very viable. Now, you might think when he does his little foot shuffle thing there that he's getting ready to charge. Now, if you're talking about Black Diablos, it will. Regular Diablos does not charge usually like that. Usually, it'll charge by lowering its head towards you. So if you see it doing that little, yeah, that right there, then you know, go ahead, man. Just go nuts, because it's just going to stand there. It's tired. And there you go. That's how you know when you can actually do true charges, I guess. That was risky and probably going to bite me in the ass. Oh. Close. Close, close, close. Tackle. I didn't tackle. Like, you can see, I know what I'm doing now, but looking back, I'm like, oh god, why didn't you tackle, man? People probably underestimate just how painful it is to watch yourself do these stupid mistakes over and over. It's like, oh my god. It's 180 hours later. Why didn't I know all this then? Especially when I'm trying to, like, educate people and I'm doing all this stupid crap. It's like, oh yeah, yeah, this person, this is the one they want to learn from. This guy right here that they're watching make all these stupid mistakes. And then I just have to remind myself, no, Barok, if they want to learn anything, it's because they're listening to your pointless commentary about absolutely nothing. It's like a episode of Seinfeld in here right now. I'm not really talking about anything, just a whole lot of nothing. Okay, so apparently by this point I'd grasped the whole shoot the red... Wait, did I pick up the red pods or no? Well, either way, I shot something at them. I think those were the sonic pods, which I thought Diablo was supposed to be weak to, but he never really seems to have much of anything. Maybe because I'm not shooting him in the head. Like with Kurapeko back in 3, I think you had to hit him in the head with the sonic... Oh, no, you didn't, because you threw it. That's what it was. Still, I miss Kurapeko. I wish they'd brought back Kurapeko. I know a lot of people go, why? I don't... Because he was my noob slayer. You know how many times Kurapeko killed me, man? A lot. I want to see that thing back. It was a Firebird. I mean, how could you get better than Firebird? Like, I'm talking Toucan Sam Firebird. Okay, so it was more of a pterodactyl Firebird, but still, it was pretty awesome. But at least we're getting old pickles, I guess. Anyway, I'm sorry I just went on a complete rant there on completely unrelated subject, but I mean, we've already went over all his moves and how to pretty much kill him on demand here. Tackle, there you go, that's how you play the greatsword. This was risky, and I think it might have worked out for me. Yes it did. I'm surprised it did, because I was like, I think he's running away, so I just decided to try and take the true charge. If I'd charged it to full, I would have whiffed. Just saying. I just never understood that you have to go full power all day, every day. If you don't charge it, there's no point in swinging if you're not going to charge it. Look, I get the greatsword's a charge weapon, but it's not always practical. Just saying. And I'm not calling anybody out in particular before someone thinks I'm trying to call someone out on YouTube. I'm not. I'm just saying, in my opinion, there's a time and a place. As long as you're doing damage and attempting to do so. This is a very poorly placed. It's way too close. Like, I've been trying to work on my placement. It's a long time before I actually get it down. Like, it's still like 50% of the time I miss on the placement of that. But if I get it right now, since I have exploit weakness in my greatsword build, it can do like upwards higher than 1,000 damage on wake up. I don't care how many piddly mega bombs you have. Because in my experience, if someone has mega bombs, they never put them any place where I can actually do my true charge and, like, not blow myself up. Like, they always put it right in front of it. It's like, you dick. Oh. But, yeah, considering I miss the wake-up call sometimes, I guess I can't blame them too much, because they're like, this guy probably gonna miss anyway, let's just put them all on the head. Yeah. There's nothing like it, though, hitting for over 1,000 damage in Monster Hunter World. I don't care what weapon it is. Greatsword is always my baby, always will be. Love it. Just not very it's just not a very friendly weapon to learn the game with unless you're used to playing a greatsword already. I have hundreds of hours in 3U, so I'm not exactly new to the greatsword, but like if you're a new player coming to the game, I hope you have patience and if you want to main greatsword, because you're gonna need to have it a bit to learn the patterns, because if not, you're just gonna get wrecked. I'm not trying to discourage people from playing the greatsword, by the way. I want more people playing the greatsword that actually know what they're doing. But, it can't be worse than the hunting horn situation. Like, the only hunting horn user I ever see is me. that's it. So yeah, that's going to be about it for today, everyone. This was originally a 40-minute thing. Managed to cut it down to 25. So hopefully I shall see you all next week. And have a good week, everybody. And I guess that's it. So I'll see you then. Until then, everybody.